Welcome to my world.
I wish I didn't have to smoke in these videos, because I don't know if it's good to do that on YouTube, because I don't see it anymore. It's day 12, it's the morning. I had another one of those mornings where I woke up thinking it was 6 in the morning, but it was 1. I was like, yep, whatever, screw it. I'm just gonna get up and make coffee. And this is my mindset lately, is that I'm not feeling great, but that's okay. Because you shouldn't expect to feel good all the time. And I almost was tempted to make a video saying, at this point, the withdrawal is almost over. And maybe it's not, maybe it's really, I have some pain in my fingers and body and the general restlessness that comes along with that and not sleeping well. But like I've said 100 times, you eventually just got to shout at the devil and say, you know what? Good. I want bone pain. I don't want to sleep. Sleep fucking overrated. I was watching a video earlier and it talked about pink clouds. So pink clouds apparently is when you get sober, and this usually happens to drinkers for some reason, is that they have a period where they feel on top of the world, and that they're so happy that they're sober, they can beat anything, and they're just manically happy. I honestly think I might be going through that, but here's the thing, I don't care, that's better than nothing. Good, a false sense of happiness, that's seriously all I need right now. But I've been thinking about, you're being sold a lie when you do these things, when you do anything recreational. It's a lie every time.
'Cause I'm a liar. Yeah, I'm a liar.
And there will be periods in your life where you get sober, you're kind of miserable, and then somebody comes into your life, man, and sells you something. And then there's always that, like, honeymoon phase, and then there's, like, the re-honeymoon phase, where you're, like, for me, it was 2020, I started editing videos. Somebody started giving me Suboxone. And essentially, it was almost like finding God in a way. Like, oh, if I just put one of these under my tongue, I get supreme energy and motivation. But here's the thing, it's a lie every time. The reason you see so many videos of people saying, I want to get off Suboxone, I want to get off Kratom, it's because you eventually default to just depression and sadness, and the drugs don't work anymore. The drugs don't work, they just make you worse, but I know I'll see your face again. Oh, that's weird. I remember when I was 14, a video came out called The Faces of Meth. I'd never done a drug. And that video was so depressing to me. I don't know if anybody remembers that video. But it had that song in the background, The Drugs Don't Work. And I remember thinking, I will never do drugs. And of course, look what happened to me. So, surrender. In a way, you gotta just surrender. And the best part is, once you've been sober for, like, almost 2 weeks, you start to kind of realize, hey, you know what? I'm doing this. I'm starting to get used to it. I'm starting to get used to being like, okay, I'll go to the gym without drugs. I'll go to the store. I'll go do this and that. I'm not sleeping, and it's not the end of the world every time I wake up with 2 hours of sleep. I remember, when I quit the first time years ago. I'm trying to scroll down. It took a long time to feel normal, and to get my normal default state motivation back. Honestly, I was doing it every day. I wasn't doing it in large amounts, but it was like years. It was like 2 or 3 years of doing Kratom. And I remember it wasn't really until day 60 through 70 that I started getting that confidence where I was sleeping full nights. This time around, I don't think I was doing enough for it to take that long. So that's good. But the worst thing you can do is get really confident. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna try to go until day 20 with absolutely nothing. And by nothing, I mean, like, there have been a few times I took some gabs to take the edge off, which is a whole nother demon. I've said it before, gabs are my soulmate. It's just unfortunate, that's what they are. One of the weird parts about this time for me is I couldn't tell anybody that I was going through withdrawal, because I just didn't want to. Maybe I should have, and maybe I eventually should. I'm yawning a lot. Which I remember years ago when I was doing H. During that time, I was a young buck. All I wanted was to get through the acutes, and it was so hard to do that. And I went to the hospital and then got into a rehab. And I remember I was so happy. I was like, dude, I haven't done it in like 6 days. And I kept saying, I'm feeling better, I'm feeling better. And the lady that was like interviewing me for the rehab was like, no, you've yawned about 20 times since you've been in here, so I don't think so. It's not that easy. And there's some discouraging shit you're gonna read. Like, some people write, oh, getting clean is easy. It's staying clean is the hardest. Yeah, essentially that's true. But don't... if you're gonna go through what I've gone through for the past 12 days, don't watch negative stuff, man. The only thing that has got me through this is staying positive. And I hope this video series has been very positive, you know? Like, I try to put music at the beginning and stuff, and I try to end it on a positive note, because that's really all you have is your hopes and your clinging to whatever positivity you possibly can. I don't know. I gotta go to court today. I might vlog the whole day, or I might just upload this whole video, and this might be it. Symptomatically, not doing bad. I slept a couple hours, which I'm grateful for. Be grateful. Get through it. You know you can. It's not that bad. And at this point, I'm like, I think it's getting to the part where I'm starting to feel better. I hope. Alright, so I'm driving to court at 8 in the morning, which is perhaps the most sobering thing I could be doing right now. I can't think of anything more sobering than a stuffy, just boring courtroom with a prosecutor that wants to give me the maximum. I don't have a lawyer. I haven't done... The only reason I'm going to court is because I didn't want to pay the ticket. Like, I didn't feel like... I was like, maybe I could squirm my way out of this. But here's the thing. What I did was I got into an accident. And that's as far as I'll say. Because I learned the hard way. Don't talk about your court case on YouTube in detail until it's over. Because years ago, I had a charge. And I had to go to... In 2017, I had to go to court like 10 times. It pretty much broke my spirit. And I finally just said, give me some jail time, because I didn't want probation. I only got like a week. Anyways, I was on the internet acting like an idiot. And I made a video where I said, here's what I'm going to do if I go to trial. God, I'm an idiot. I said, I'm going to walk up to the judge, pull down my pants and shit on the floor, and I'm going to say that's my official statement. Now, in my dumb young mind, I thought, oh, like it's just me joking around on YouTube. But when I went to court the next time, you know, like when you go to court, oh God, I don't look good. The prosecutors and the defense are kind of friends because they wheel and deal with each other. I overheard them laughing, and the prosecutor said, I heard him say this. He said, I hope he goes to trial because I want to see if he actually shits on the floor. And they both started laughing. So I went, oh my God, the prosecutor watched my channel somehow. So today's gonna suck, but to be honest, I like going to court because it's really entertaining to just sit in the courtroom and to listen to the shit that goes on in there. Every time I go to court, I tell myself, I'm gonna start coming here recreationally. Because one time me and my dad went years ago, I forgot, I was facing like possession or something. And an old town drunk that I recognized had a trial or something, and so it was the drunk, and then to the right of him was the prosecutor and the cop, because if you get arrested, the cop has to go to your court date. And the drunk bum took the stand, and he went, this was so funny, he went, so I got pulled over, and I wasn't gonna mention this, but I smelled alcohol on the officer's breath. Oh man, you could have, the freaking judge hit the gavel, and the look on the cop's face, like this town drunk turned it around and like said that he smelled alcohol on the cop's breath. Anyway, that was hilarious. Also, one time there was a lady with an eye patch. Some guy stabbed her in the eye, and they let him go. They dismissed the case. And I remember outside of the courtroom, the lady charged at him, screaming and crying. Now, that's not really funny, but it was interesting. I was like, fucking, grab some popcorn, man. This is awesome. So here's my advice. If you're ever bored, just go to court. Just hang out there. Yeah. Probation before judgment with no points. I'm practically fucking skipping right now. Let me wait till I'm in my car to finish this. Alright, so now I can finally speak of my victory in court today and tell the story. I was very hesitant at first to like talk about my case because I'm like, negligent driving? I don't know how serious that is, because I got reckless years ago, but I only got reckless because I got knocked down from a DUI. So I'm like, this doesn't really feel like a small change sort of ticket. And I'm like, somebody told me, they're like, you'll get 14 points and they'll take your license. And that's my biggest fear in life, is to not be able to drive. So I get in there, couldn't find the freaking district court. Or wait, yeah, was it district? Yeah, because I even had to Google it. I'm like, district court sounds scarier than circuit court. And I'm only semi-familiar with the court system. I mean, I've been to court like 5 times in my life, like 5, whatever. So I Googled it and they said, nah, district court, very minor traffic charges. So I get up there and I'm like, dude, I don't see my cop. I don't see the cop. So I'm like, dude, am I going to be off scot-free? And if you've ever seen Better Call Saul, it's so funny. Those little courtroom scenes they have before Jimmy McGill gets it. Like, it's so accurate. It's just a bunch of people. Some of them are wearing ties, some aren't. Some are used to it, they're tired, they've been through the system. Some people are just, it's just like this nervous silence that envelops the room. Finally, the judge comes out, and I'm like, oh, dude, I love this judge. He looks like the father and Seth from that show Seventh Heaven. So I'm like, I think this guy's a very nice, honorable judge. So they're going through the letters of the alphabet, and I know they're about to get to the H. So finally, they call my name, and I just kind of walked up, and some guy said, take off your hat. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I took off that. And I walk up, and I immediately put on the Harmonti charm. I looked right at the judge, and I went, hello, Your Honor. And the judge went, is there any witness here for this case? And I looked around, and I'm like, dude, my cop isn't here. I'm going to get let go. And it was like 10 seconds of just like adrenaline pumping. Oh, yeah, they're about to let me go because ain't no cop here, no witnesses. And finally, the guy that I hit walked up, and I'm like, oh, shit. So they let him go first, and he starts talking. And he's like, hello, I was working that night. And he starts going. I was tired from, work. I was busy. I had to go slow. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute. Is this guy, like, on trial? Because what happened, dude, and I'm not proud to admit this, but I was working 12-hour shifts, walking the whole time. And I was only getting, like, an hour of sleep a night. And, damn it, my phone keeps falling. And all I remember was being on the highway, and then I heard a loud smashing sound. And I remember thinking, this is what it sounds like to hit a brick wall going 70 miles per hour. I'm probably going to die. But the car, it was a service vehicle that I hit. And it was so big, it looked like a transformer, that the guy didn't know I hit him. So he dragged me for like 2 miles because I was stuck to his car. It got to the point where cars were honking to get this guy to stop. So maybe he tried to flee the accident, I don't know. But he's telling this story, and he gets to the part where he has to express who he thinks fault it was. And the guy was totally about to say he fell asleep at the wheel. But he was so cool, the victim of this crime, because it wasn't me, certainly. He was so cool, he was tired. That's what old people in my state, he was tired. And then the judge looked at me. Remember, this is like a very nice, noble looking judge. And I just put on the wordsmith fucking art that I know how to do for some reason. And was like, Your Honor, I had just got hired at a security job, and I was working 12-hour shifts. But you had to work there for about a month until you got something called a blue badge, where you could sit post. If you don't know security lingo, sitting post is basically when you're at a station. I gotta get a fucking tripod for this car. And I said I couldn't get the blue badge yet, so they just told me to walk for 12 hours, which is the truth. And I was not sleeping during that time. So, and I don't know why I said this. Maybe I shouldn't have. But it's better to tell the truth, I have found. And I said, so, Your Honor, it was my fault. I plead guilty with explanation. No. I said, Your Honor, I really have no excuses. I plead guilty with explanation, and this was mostly my fault. And maybe me saying that made him go, okay, I find you guilty. And he said, I'm going to give you probation before judgment with no points. And I was like, yes! Because PBJ is practically, you don't have to see a probation officer. It's practically just like, hey, fuck off. Like, pay you at $75, fuck off. And then I shook the guy's hand. I said, thank you, man. And then I left. So I just got to pay a little fine, no points on the license, which is what I was mostly worried about. I would consider today a major victory. PBJ.